Morning, everyone. This is my watch list for Thursday, August 13th. Alright, so what happened yesterday? Remember I said I likely will not trade SPY? Pretty choppy, right? CPI, PPI. PPI is this morning in 1 hour. Now, everything could change after PPI, but I'm still going to give a watch just in case. You know, we have a lot of nice setups today. So let's see what happens after PPI. But you guys see yesterday we just rejected that 775 supply and we held the 772 demand. Okay, so we just stayed within the same range. All right. Now maybe PPI changes that, or today we finally break this range. But 775 is the obvious and key supply, and then 772 is the demand. Right. This was the area from Monday, and this is the area that we held yesterday. If we sell below 772, below yesterday's lows, then we can short SPY. If we reclaim 775, we can long SPY. All right. QQQ, same thing, right? All it did was open into that supply. It fell below the 725, but then it just held and chopped around for the rest of the day. It still has not broken out. For a guaranteed breakout or you know a confirmed upside, it would have to break 728, which was that high from last Wednesday. All right, if we break 728, then this can see more upside. But this is just still in this very big supply, and I am not touching the Qs long until this breaks supply. All right, otherwise, maybe we can watch for shorts, but let's see what happens with that PPI. Okay. I've been focusing on individuals this week. I think they've been moving a lot better. You know, we caught Nvidia yesterday. Beautiful trade. And I think Brett caught Apple maybe, but this 305 reject area and then the 302, 303 breakdown was really nice. We can watch Apple again today below 300, right? Below 300, this is going to sell. Let's see. Next level down is not, I don't have anything until like 294, right? So below 300, we can watch for an entry again on Apple shorts today. AMD, same thing. I think this range is going to break soon. Whether it's because of PPI or just general, you know, market dynamics, I think this is going to break. Either we'll reclaim 500, right? We'll reclaim 500. This goes back to 530, or we're going to lose 460, and it's going to go all the way back to 420. But it's been consolidating now for a couple of weeks, so this should break soon. Amazon, it failed at 271. This actually was a nice short. 267. You know, I don't really have anything on this until 258. If this gets to 258, we can take a bounce there, but I don't really see much here. Google, nothing. Meta failed that. Remember yesterday I said this is bullish as long as 600 holds and 610 reclaims. Neither one of those happened, right? As soon as the market opened yesterday, it sold, and it was pretty weak, right? It's closed down over 3% in the red, okay? So this actually is now weak to me. The fact that it failed 600 and it's now back below 580. 575 was this pivot from back here and over here. If we lose 575, you can actually look for shorts. Excuse me, on Meta. Microsoft failed 500. Remember I said the same thing with the Nvidia chart. I said Microsoft is getting a little exhausted. It's a little tired, right? If we lose 500, it's a short, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. We lost 500 and sold all the way down into 490, right? Netflix, this is very interesting for me. Okay, so Netflix was bullish, right? We took the long here, and it ripped to 77, and then it completely failed on Tuesday and actually opened weak yesterday, okay? So this is probably this introduced a lot of shorts, right? Because we broke this trend line, it introduced shorts into the mix. And then yesterday they got news about Pershing Square reopening a stake in Q2, okay? So then it popped in the after hours. You see this big candle in the after hours, and we reclaimed 75. So anyone who is trying to short that trend line break is now going to get squeezed today. So if this holds 75 today, I really like this chart for longs, right? Let's watch Netflix for longs today. Let's watch if it can hold 75. Let's watch it for longs. POTI has yet to come down and retest this big area. So if we get that demand test, it's this zone here, 164, 163, 162, somewhere in there. If we get that demand bounce today, I actually really like this chart as well for longs. So I'll be watching that PLTR 164 to 162 area. Okay. Nvidia, yeah, this is a beautiful trade I caught yesterday. A lot of people started chasing after I got in, but I got in right here. I got in right here at the 945 candle as soon as we reclaimed that 222. Okay. And this ripped. We went all the way to 225. Contracts did really well. And we can watch this again today. Now over 225. Okay. This is a bullish chart. They have earnings next week. Maybe that's why it's just rallying into earnings. Okay. But 225 was the level from back here. 225 was high of day yesterday. I don't really see anything. If we break over 225, this has room to go. Okay. You can look at the 1 hour, the 4 hour. There's really not much supply above. So if we break 225, this has room. And I'll be watching this again for longs on Nvidia, as long as PPI doesn't tank the market. Okay. If it gets back under 222, then it's a short. That's it. Tesla, man, this got so close to my big supply, but didn't quite tap it, right? You guys know I was watching that 337 to 340. We got to like 336, and then yesterday was the big failure. Rav caught the trade, which is nice. It broke this hourly trend, and you guys saw this was a very, very weak chart, very weak close yesterday. So we can watch for continuation selling. If we break below the previous day low, below Wednesday's lows, we can look for continuation selling below that 323.50. Okay, so let's see what happens today. I'll see you guys on live.